So I thought this morning, for my own amusement as much as for yours, anybody who might really want to take the time to watch this, that I might show a little bit about how I start my paintings. They're almost all done on this Strathmore mixed media 400 weight paper. I should have this factory in my own house. I wish it was recycled paper, but it's not. But it is very sturdy and can put up with lots of water and abuse, which I tend to give it. So when I come out in the morning, I try to, if I'm gonna just start from the beginning, because I don't have any idea of what I'm doing or where I'm going or anything else, so I'll tend to start with 2 or 3 at the same time. I had started this the other day because I had some leftover paint, and even though the paint does go to waste, because there is how it ends up looking, I like to use up odds and ends, so this was a start from the other day. And then I have a couple of blank sheets, and I just pick up whatever's handy. Here's some India ink. I don't know if there's even anything in here anymore. Maybe I'll dry it out. And I have no idea what I'm doing, so I will just start out and do that. And then here's some water. And this is different, again, every day. And I'm going to go get some sheets of what we call deli wrap, like they might wrap sandwiches in. And I'm just going to blot this with that. And why do I do that? Well, because I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for it to dry. And also it gives me this impression here, which I'll put over here. And lots of times I've got pieces of deli wrap that I use. So here's an example of one where I used a roller and I just stuck it on there, and then I'll take some of this, I'll cut it up and add it to my pages as collage. So I've got that. I think I'll spray this a little more and pick up a little more on it. And I might even blot it here and there until it makes a big kind of mess, all right? I have no idea where this is going. You have to keep that in mind, all right? So that's the very beginning of something. Who knows what? I'll let that dry right over here. And then I might take the same, just because I have it out already, I might take the same one and just start fooling around with a general face shape. And this is not obviously what it's going to end up looking like, but at least I don't think so. But then one never knows. So there's your face. There's an eye. The head needs to be a little bit bigger. And then I will take, what else do I have here? Let's see if I have a little, I'll just use the back of a paintbrush. I'm going to go in here and mess that up a little bit. And bring in it a little more, mess it up a little more. Okay. Because I love this, I love texture, and I love not knowing what I'm doing. Some people would just freak out if they were doing this, but for me, this is the joy in it, right here, is just messing it up, playing with it, seeing what happens. And I might go back here on this one. Can you see this one? Take a few, put this over here, a few in there. Yeah, okay, that's going good now. And I'll wipe my brush off on this. Okay, so now we've got the beginnings. At least we don't have white sheets that seem to terrify people. I don't know, they never terrify me, but whatever. And so now I think I'll bring some paint in here. And I think what I'll do, I think I'll start doing a face on this one. And I'm going to pick out, really, I don't like any colors with these, this combination. Honestly, I just want to stick with that combination because I don't know what else I have that I think is, oh, I could get a purple. Let's see if I can find a purple. And confessing right here to a terrible habit, which is leaving the caps off of my paint so they dry out. And then I have to, got this red. Let's see. See, if I really knew what I was doing, I would have gotten all the paints out before I even started. Oh, that's kind of a good blue to go with that. And that's that reddish. I just want purple. This is not dark enough. That's a purple, but it's not dark. That one has a cap on. But find in here. I'm digging around in my box of paints. Nope. Let's see, I don't want that right now. There's my purple. Medium violet. Okay, but now the problem is, you see, no cap. So now what I have to do, and this is, I feel really terrible and embarrassed to even be showing this, but this is a time of truth. So here we go. Now I need to, yeah. So I got this little doohickey thing. I stick it in there. And out comes the top of the paint. There we go. Come on. I know, this is just the dumbest thing and the biggest waste of time, and I need to change my habits, but here it is right now. Anyway, so now we squeeze out some of that purple paint. That's not enough. Oh, I'm laughing at myself. Good grief. I haven't ever seen a teacher do this. But this is because I'm so impatient. People ask how I paint so much and so quickly. This is why, because I'm incredibly impatient. Okay, so now I am just gonna start with some eyes here. And place for nose and for mouth. And then we're gonna just do a general face shape. And we'll just do that. You are seeing this right now. Okay, just gonna do that for right now. I'm gonna bring these eyes down a bit. Now, you see all those people that I've told I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, especially when I start out. There you see, that's exactly what I mean. So there we're starting with that. Now, I just looked over here and I saw this one come up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of extender or retarder into this purple. And then I'm going to use it on here. See what we get here. See, none of this matters. This is the thing that I want people to understand, is none of it matters, because this is the beauty of acrylic painting. You can go over it and over it as many times as you want. So how it starts does not need to be the direction you go in. And many times I've done this and I've gone, ick, I'm not happy with that. So then I do something else and over it and over it and over it. I can go over it as many times as I like. So got those two kind of going here. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here with some white. Now a lot of people don't paint with white. They don't like white and they don't like black. I like them both. I like the contrast of white and black, the starkness of it. A lot of artists don't do that. they don't like it. So they'll use Payne's gray instead of black, or they'll mix their blacks, or, you know, again, I'm way too lazy to mix anything, so I rarely mix. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to start to look at creating more the face here and see what I think. Now sometimes I'll come in here and I'll go, oh, I want to leave a lot of this in here, which I really like it. I like the background here. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to paint around here and just get the face isolated. But I'm going to try and leave in as much of that as I can, because that to me is the interesting part. Now at the end I may go back over the outside here, and I'm going to add hair and ears and all that good stuff. But this just gives you an idea of how I might get started on here. And you can already see that something's happening, right? You can already see something happening here. And look how little I did. So this is what I wanted to show you, is how these things start. That they're not thought out, they're not planned. The expressions, I have no idea, they just come. And this is what I personally love about painting. I love the fact I don't know what's going to happen. I love the fact that this just emerges like this. Let's see if you can see it better. You may not be able to see it that way, but that's where we are right now, and that was what, 5 minutes? Now, most of my paintings take between 2 and 4 or 6 hours, depending on the painting, but sometimes they come quickly, and honestly, I'm not that unhappy with this, and I can see just not doing a whole lot more to this. But anyway, there's that one. And then we're coming to this one, which is a little more challenging. I'm not feeling this one as much as I did that one, but we're gonna see what we get here. I'm gonna come in here and go out. And sometimes I do use, I do go from photographs or whatever, but for the purpose of this, it's just simpler to show you this method, which is one that I sometimes use. I use different things, you know. Sometimes I start with the background already in place, like this one, where the background was already there. Sometimes it's a much bigger filled-in background, and other times I just go from where I am. So let's get rid of a lot of that. Let's see what we've got left here. Get some more white. You can see I'm pretty darn generous with the paint. As I said, I like lots of texture. Those of you who have my paintings will know that. When you get them, they are so much more, they have so much more life to them than when you see them in a photograph, because you just don't get all that close-up texture that is so fun to me. And so at this stage of the game, all I'm trying to do is kind of isolate the face, get some idea of the direction I might be going in. And again, this is going to change substantially, but there's a start. Again, let's mess this up a little bit. Don't want it too neat. And there's the start up there of some texture. I don't know if you can see that. Down here, got all that going. So in this one, just for the fun of it, we'll do something different. I'm going to get some collage, stuff that we can use for collage. And again, I'm just picking out stuff that is on the top of the pile. And these are some pieces from using a jelly plate that I really enjoy doing. And I think maybe what I'll do this time, which I don't do all the time, is I'll make kind of a face with just different pieces here. Not going to look like a face, but it'll look like something. And it'll give you just the beginning of how a face might look. So let's see, I get my lousy brush, which honestly, because I treat my brushes about as well as I treat my paints. So we've got some golden matte medium, and I'm going to put this, now again, just because I put this in here and it starts out, oh, I think maybe I'll start a face from this, it doesn't mean it's going to end up this way at all. We have no idea where this thing's going. Oops. Colors don't matter to me. I don't use the color wheel. I see what strikes me, and I will use any combination pretty much. I think about nature and how in nature every color is next to each other without any thinking about it. And I know that different colors do different things, like if you do, I can't remember, I think it's complementary colors, that it brings out the color next to it and that sort of thing, but I don't know. I just, it's too much thinking for me, and as you can tell from what I've done so far, I don't like to think. I like to do. So, now we're there with those, and I think what I'm going to do now is take out my favorite implement in the whole world, which is this Stabilo All pencil, which writes on anything, but it's the darkest black, and it's water soluble, so I love that. And again, I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. I'm gonna give her a really, really long neck. She's gonna be a little bit of a, because I put that up there thinking that was gonna be the eye. Guess what? It's not the eye. This is the eye. See that? That is now the eye. So there's gonna be the eye. There's gonna be another eye. And that's just gonna be, I don't know what, it's gonna be a little something up there. And we'll just draw this in here. Her eyes are very close together. And the mouth is now moved down. There. Okay, you got that? Now, this is my favorite part. It's like magic. I go in here with my, with just a wet brush, and I go over that Stabilo All, and you begin to see that those lines are dark. Okay. Now I'm really liking her. So now I'm going to go back in with the white, and bring her face out a bit. White on here. This guy can be over here. Pull out some white here. Alright, now she's already got this white on her eye, which is great, so I'm going to put some more there. Some more there. That's the end of her nose coming down like that. A little crooked, but that's fine. And then down here. Then I'm going to start doing this to her face. And you begin to see the face coming out of there, right? I don't want to do too much because I really like the black and the splatters and that sort of thing. But I am going to cover that up, maybe leave just a little bit of it. But now you see, there she is, coming to life, right? And again, I'm going to go outside, which I don't always do, but I'm going to do that this time. And bring her out. Oops, you see I went over, that's supposed to be her hat or hair or something, so in there. And so I'm not going to go on through this whole process because I'm sure everybody's already falling asleep, but this is the general idea of just to give you some idea, not only of how I get going, but to for any of you who might like to try art, that to show you that this is not a scary process. This is just a playful, it's a lot of fun. You can fix your mistakes as you go along. And so these two, I'm quite happy with where I've gotten to on them. This one, not so much. But it's okay. It's okay. It's going to come along. I may put 1 or 2 more faces in there. I'm not sure yet. Anyway, these two are started, and I'm kind of excited about finishing them up this morning, which I will do. And eventually they'll be offered. So if you stuck with me through this, thank you. I know this is not a professionally done video at all, but hopefully you've gotten something from it. Have a great day.